Welcome to All Systems Go Home, the All Systems Go podcast experience of your dreams. A live special because this news can't wait. It's a big day. Yesterday was a big day for the PlayStation brand as they revealed the first games for the PlayStation 5 console coming later this year. And we've got two wonderful gentlemen here to help me discuss it. I'm Jeremy Fardman. We have Kyle Eads.
That's me.
And we have Corey McGinnis.
C'est moi.
And guys, why don't you just give me like a one sentence summation of your hype levels for this video?
For the whole conference?
Yeah, what were your general impressions? Kyle, did you leave this video feeling excited for the next generation?
I mean, yeah. I'd say I'm fairly excited. There are things I wish they had talked about that they didn't. And then some things we learned. I think the longer like it sits with me, the more I wish I had seen other things. But I still had an enjoyable time watching the conference.
Corey, was there anything you felt was a glaring omission that they needed to show?
Elden Ring.
But other than that, they covered the bases for you?
Yeah, it's popping.
Good. I thought it was pretty strong, especially compared to sort of the Xbox stuff that we've been seeing in the past few months. They obviously have their own event next month, so we'll see how they respond. But I thought they did a pretty good job showing what they needed to show. So what I want to do is just we've got a list of the stuff they showed off here, and then we're just going to go through it. Sound good, everyone?
Yeah.
I'm down, yeah.
Okay, so shockingly, they decided to open the press conference with maybe the worst thing you could have done outside of Skyrim. It's GTA 5. Again. For
the cockroach of PlayStation.
This is a game that came out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
I was a sophomore in high school when this game originally came out.
This is a game they gave away for free.
When I was a baby.
They just gave this game away for free on PC.
Yeah.
This might just be because I was in disbelief. It felt like the longest trailer of any of the games.
I think it showed like a 2-second clip from like every trailer that they've had, because they have like a ton of trailers for the DLC they've added to this game.
Yeah, it was just, it's not really worth talking about very much, just because like if you don't already have GTA 5, like you're already out. Like it's the most popular entertainment product ever made. No hyperbole.
Honestly, it's probably the second most sold game of all time if you count up like all the different.
Number one.
I'd say
like it won't stop selling.
Wii Sports, the original one, might have beaten it because it came with the system.
I don't think so, man. Like, I mean, you forget that like GTA 5
second
has had
behind Minecraft.
Oh, Minecraft.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because Minecraft is on even more platforms. But yeah, they just showed this off for a while, and I'm really only talking about it because like I was genuinely worried for the rest of the conference. Like this was the absolute wrong note to start off with. I don't know if Take-Two just paid them $1 billion to put it as the first thing, but I think this was a mistake. You guys are in agreement?
Yeah, it doesn't even look like they updated anything about it.
Well, that was the other thing, because they had a watermark in the corner saying PS4. So I'm not sure this was PS5 footage.
Yeah, because a big thing was like, it looked like it honestly just felt not part of the conference. It felt like an ad for the game that just happened to be video game related, and then the conference started.
Right. Yeah. I agree completely. Because then as we go into they had Jim Ryan like introduce it afterwards, like almost they separated it kind of.
Yeah.
But then talk about a complete 180. It's a game that I was hoping to see. I wasn't expecting it. It was like my hope to see it. And it's the sequel to the Insomniac games Spider-Man. This time it's Miles Morales.
It is not a sequel.
It is not a sequel.
It's not a sequel.
It's just the original one expanded and like bettered.
It's a standalone game, but also not. But also it is. I'm so confused on what the wording is.
Okay, so yeah, there's been some confusion about it. I think what everyone landed on is just what I had assumed the whole time, which is like it's, you know, Uncharted Lost Legacy type game. It's like you buy it on its own. It's maybe not a full price game, but it's, I mean, I would still call it a sequel because it takes place after the other game and is with a new character in the same continuity. So, I mean, it's not called 2, but and I don't know, it's a sequel.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm still excited for it. I think
It looks fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
it looks awesome. I've had several discussions with this. Is like, and this is before finding out it's not like a full-fledged sequel. I wish the timing of this was different because I listen. I don't have a PS5, so this is a different opinion than people who have a PlayStation console. Excuse me. I wish like it gave us more time because it feels like Spider-Man came out what, last year? Question mark.
It came out 2 years ago.
2018.
Okay, I didn't realize it was that old. But like we're supposed to get a new. Yeah, it just seems like I don't know. The timing of it seems a little weird to me, but that's I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm still super excited.
Holiday is sooner than I expected to see it.
Yeah.
But as someone who's just been filling my entire life with Spider-Man everything over the past like 2 months, just makes me very happy. Just because, like, I love that game so much. I love Miles as a character. Seeing like Spider-Verse, especially, that just it really just exposed him to the world at large, and like everyone loves this character now. Everyone's excited to play as him. And another thing is, like, when I was reading like some old Spider-Man books, I realized like you don't see Spider-Man in the snow very often. It's usually like sunset or daylight, but this game is taking place at Christmas and there's snow everywhere. It's looking beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that. Corey, did you play the last Spider-Man game?
I did many times.
What did you think of Miles in that game? Do you think they gave him the proper amount of development that he can carry a whole game on himself?
I would say, yeah, he could do it.
Great.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice from the trailer is, so with the previous game, they made a big deal out of all the collectible suits you could unlock and just customize how Spider-Man looked. They even made a big deal of they designed their own suit specifically for the game. Miles, from what I can tell, it looks like, you know, he's sticking close to his usual look. Do you guys think they will have more suits in the game?
More than likely.
The thing is, and this is a discussion I had with some friends who are bigger Spider-Man fans than I am. Miles himself doesn't have as many suits in the comics that they can base off of, whereas like Peter, he's like the first Spider-Man and the most well-known. He has so many different variations, and even like those Spider-Man Noir that we saw in Spider-Verse, that's still Peter Parker, just an alternate version. So you could use that kind of costume. With Miles, he just has the suit we see him normally in.
Yeah. I mean, I think Miles hasn't even been around for 15 years compared to like Spider-Man in general coming up on like 60 years. There's a lot less to pull from, but I still wonder if they won't like make their own version of it.
Yeah. At the same time, there were also costumes like the 2099. That's Miguel O'Hara. So they can pull from other Spider-Man.
That's true.
Exactly.
But it might, yeah. I'm just hoping it doesn't like feel tacked on where it's like, here's Miles, but he's in the original Spider-Man suit.
Oh, I don't think they'll. I doubt they'll do that, especially because
I hope not.
the whole theme of Miles as a character is like stepping out of other people's shadow and just sort of making his own identity in the world.
They might give him one classic suit, but
I don't know. There is
they did show him wearing one before.
When did they do that?
Like in the last Spider-Man game.
I remember that, yeah, like he was wearing like a mask or something, but I don't remember him getting his own suit. I might be wrong though. There's a really good Miles Morales comic still ongoing. Comics are back, sort of.
Yeah, they just released the newest comic in that line, right?
Yeah, he helps like a bullied teen with his fashion or something. That was really nice.
You'll love to see it.
I do want to read. I need to start reading more comics, man.
It's a long rabbit hole, you know? You're like, I'm gonna start out.
I know.
I'm just gonna read like this one arc that I hear is really well liked, but it's like, oh, well, they reference stuff from this other arc from 20 years ago. Better read that. Oh, who's this character? Oh, but this isn't the real guy. He's actually a clone. The other one is on Jupiter right now. You got to read this story. And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It really never ends.
Oh, yeah.
I listen.
had to read, go.
No, it's a wrestling reference. No one cares.
You're right.
Miles, though, because he's such a young character comparatively, he's a lot easier to follow. Especially because they sort of rebooted his whole history after Secret Wars. But yeah, I'm very excited to check out that game. I have a lot of faith in it.
I'm so hype.
Anything else before we move on?
I also love that. So we talked earlier about, briefly, the whole discussion of whether this is a standalone game or just an expansion. Insomniac has been like confirming like, hey, this is going to be a standalone game in their eyes. And they responded to someone because someone's like, oh, this rumor has it, this isn't a standalone game, it's just DLC. Insomniac responds to that tweet going, no, it's a standalone game. That original person goes, okay, who's your source? What's Insomniac supposed to do? It's Insomniac.
Honey. Oh, honey.
No.
They just quote tweet themselves. It's like, hey, we just said it. For whatever reason, they always get like dumb people on Twitter. You remember like the whole puddle thing before that game came out?
Oh, yeah.
I don't. What happened with Puddle?
People were upset because the trailer featured a lot of puddles with nice reflections.
That's
but then
what
the
it
final
was.
game had less puddles.
That's what that was. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah, it was a whole, like, they didn't remove the puddles because it was, like, the game couldn't run it. They just made an artistic change. But, you know, people are dumb. After that, after Spider-Man, they do the thing you always do. It's a law when you're showing off a new hardware, is you got to show a car. Got to show a car game. And so they did with a Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo is...
Where's my note?
It's the car game that has been with PlayStation. Excuse me. For a very long time.
I love the grand need for Gran Turismo and Furious games, or whatever it's called. They're all the same. I'll be honest.
I don't know.
It's car.
People like these car games. I don't want to disparage them, but this does lead to a wider question, which is, the stream they showed, they were unable to use the best video quality available. It was limited into like 30 frames per second. And for a car game, which these are all sold on how well they push technology, do you think that hurt this game's showing? That maybe it looks better in reality than it was shown in this video?
I still think it looked pretty good for the most part. Like, regardless of what the frame quality was.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, I guess none of us have any real interest in this series, not to say that it's not good. I mean, I'm sure it's fun. but
It's just not our vibe.
yeah,
No, yeah.
the simulation racer is just not really what I am here for. But
yeah.
no hate if you love Gran Turismo, go for it.
No, yeah.
And then I was especially surprised, seeing as we had just seen Insomniac, they clap back with Ratchet and Clank.
Super. Yeah, man. Holy crap. Holy crap. A whole new Ratchet and Clank game. Which I'm glad we're getting a new one, because I don't know all the top of my head, I don't remember if the game itself was really received, but there was a lot of bad taste in people's mouths after what happened with the movie debacle, and how poorly received that was.
Yeah, we can go
But
into that.
I'm excited. If I'm being honest, I didn't play a lot of Ratchet and Clank itself. When it comes to like your Sony type platformer, with your whole like the Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, all those games. Ratchet and Clank was the one I never really touched as much, but as I've gotten older, I think I want to get into this franchise more, and seeing something like this is...
Especially since out of all those franchises, it's the one that's still around. Like,
yeah.
On the PS1, you had like Crash and Spyro. Those are, sort of defunct at this point. And then, Sly hasn't had a new game in a long time. Neither Jack, but Insomniac just, it keeps making Ratchet and Clank games. And it's like a sign that they still love the series, and they have more ideas for it. I really enjoyed the last game they put out alongside the movie. Maybe that's because I think it was my first one. I didn't have a lot of the comparison that other people had, because if you look at the early Ratchet and Clank games, they're kind of subversive and edgy, for lack of a better word. They make butt puns in their titles, and
the gun,
innuendos and stuff. And there's a case to be made that they've sort of filed down the edges a lot as the series has gone on, which is sort of the opposite of what happens with a lot of franchises. But yeah, there wasn't a ton of that spirit still in this new look, but it does look, it looks like Ratchet and Clank. I like that game a lot. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Corey, have you had a lot of experience with the series at all?
I have not really played much of it. I played a little bit a while ago, but this looks really good, so I think I might pop back into it, honestly.
Yeah, so the gimmick with this one is that they're in parallel dimensions, and there's like a Shadow the Hedgehog version of Ratchet that Clank has to team up with. That it has potential for some interesting ideas, just warping around everywhere, hopping to a bunch of different places. I guess we'll see more in the future, because there wasn't a ton of that. They did show off gameplay, which is a good thing. You get to actually see how it plays in action.
And the gameplay looked really, really cool, if I'm being honest, too.
It
Gave me
fun.
Gave me some cool vibes off that, yeah.
Yeah. It was funny. When did you first realize that it was Ratchet? Was it when he popped out? Because, when they showed, the weird slug monster, I was just like, there's something about this slug. This is giving me some vibes. This Ratchet, I'm getting Ratchet vibes from this slug.
I got Rayman vibes at first. I don't know why. Maybe
I could see that too.
And I'm not gonna lie, I felt the same way.
Yeah.
I would like a new Rayman game also. That'd be cool.
Everybody would, man.
I support that.
As long as they don't make it open world. I don't even know how they would do that. But.
Who owns Rayman? Is that a just Sony property?
No, it's Ubisoft. So.
Okay, yeah, that's what
They've got.
And Ubisoft's doing that. We could see it. We don't know. Ubisoft,
you never know.
It could happen.
Kyle, it would have been leaked by now. All of Ubisoft's games get leaked 2 months early.
That's fair.
They would have to take a break from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm excited for that new Assassin's Creed, though, man. I love me some Viking stuff.
Speaking of nature, we got something from the Final Fantasy people, known as Square Enix. It's called Project Athia. Someone wearing high tops in the forest.
I missed that one.
There were
We have some. We have some. Oh yeah, we did. There's just no trailer for it on the site I'm looking at. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was
No, yeah.
it was a very brief thing. But it just showed her like jumping on rocks or something.
She wiggledy waggled some vines to attack some friends.
Sure. Corey, is this secretly Final Fantasy 16?
More than likely, yes.
That's the vibe I got. I mean, they didn't say it, but I wouldn't be surprised. When do you is this game going to come out in our lifetimes? Because they love to announce stuff and then never release it for 10 years.
I'm going to say no.
They died waiting. Yeah, I don't know. They just didn't show a lot about it. When it has like a project name, it's like, okay, well, it's not really going to look like the real game. It's probably a ways off, but hey, if that's your thing, cool. Then
and it wouldn't be a Square Enix title without a dragon at the end.
Oh yeah,
always
gotta have a dragon. Then they went to Returnal, which is a silly name in my opinion.
Dumb name.
Like,
glad that's the consensus we have here.
There are only
name.
like 10 or so like base words you can use to form your video game, and they just mash them all up. That's how we get Godfall. It's like, well, we have all these building blocks. We got to mash them together somehow. So this is a game where it's some sort of time loop, and it's like a shooter of some sort. This developer, looking at their past games, they make a lot of like arcade type shooters. But this game sort of freaks me out. I didn't know what to think of it.
It gave me like Prey type vibes with that type of psychological horror.
Yeah, I see what you mean with that.
But also, to get a movie reference in, it also reminded me of Edge of Tomorrow, where you're going through that continuous loop of life and death and coming back and life and death and all that stuff.
I mean, time loops showed up a few times in this presentation because then they had the Bethesda game Deathloop after that. And then
2020 is the year of the Deathloop game.
Outer Wilds last year. And even like this is going out on a limb, but even the Porg game later that has like that team made like a Majora's Mask fan film. So it's like a lot of time loop stuff coming back in vogue.
There's something else. There's another game in here that's not just that. I can't remember what. It'll come to me hopefully when we talk about it. But
and then I was thinking like, why have they never used this concept for a Terminator game, where you have to go back in time and like kill Sarah Connor or save Sarah Connor, and like you keep failing and Skynet keeps winning, and you just have to keep going, like sending back more people and like just keep.
Because it would make too much sense, and Terminator's movies can't be good anymore.
I know that's the real reason, but it just seems like a good idea that would probably be too ambitious for a licensed game. Then they had another unexpected game. It was Sackboy. He's back. Kyle, do you like Sackboy?
You mean Sony's the PS5 edition of Yoshi's Woolly World? Yeah, I love that game. I have no interest, man. I love platformers, especially even Yoshi type, like that kind of style. I have no interest in this, man. This looked so to me.
What about you, Corey? Did you think this looked like fun? Co-op?
It looked okay.
I wasn't really expecting to see Sackboy again. I thought he was just sort of gone. So I guess it's good that he's still around in some form. It looks very Mario 3D World-ish. The sort of the co-op where you can screw each other over if you want. I like these types of games. I don't know. I guess I'll have to wait to find out more. Because, those platforming physics aren't typically the best.
Yeah.
It was cool. We got
Yeah.
multiple 3D platformers. Genre's not dead. It's still alive.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle, do you want to tell me about Destruction All-Stars?
Oh, okay. So I am actually really excited for Destruction All Stars. Oddly enough, so and it's more so not even for the game itself. It's because it looks very similar to a game I played as a kid, which was WWE Crush Hour. Basically, it's just you smash car, drive car, smash car, and then if your car explodes, you smash other person too. I like smashing things. I'm a destructive person, so I'm gonna have fun if I do play this, because it's a mixture of that Crush Hour game. It's Rocket League somewhere probably in there. Man, this looks cool to me. I'll be honest, this looks really cool to me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The second I saw that game, I immediately thought of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
They do sort of lean into it. Has a wrestling energy of a sort.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly
honestly,
what it is about it. It just reminds me of Kyle.
It's that guy wearing a lucha mask.
Maybe.
That's what it is.
It looks like they're like the heroes in that game. Like you have
And kind of like an Overwatch meets Rocket League type thing.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Don't like the name. Honestly, it's really simple.
It's another like building block name. It's whatever.
Yeah. It seems like a placeholder, but you know.
Yeah, the logo looks like a placeholder too. Who knows? Yeah. Maybe it's actually Crush Hour 2. We don't know.
Dude, listen, I was really expecting at the very end to hear John Cena's music and he just kind of comes out and then it cuts.
Kyle, you hope for that with every trailer, don't lie.
I do. I really expected him to be in Sackboy too, but you know, here we are.
Oh, I just had that image.
I could see that.
Yeah, I can visualize that. Him as a Sackboy.
I just imagine Sackboy hitting that John Cena pose, wearing the hat and the shirt.
Yeah, that might have been a DLC they did at one point, because I have a very clear image in my head of that existing.
Yeah, of Sack.
Anyway.
Excuse me while I do some.
After that, they had a team with two brothers who have a background in animation, they said. And this game is called Kena? It looks stunning, honestly.
I went Kena.
Oh.
This game made me happy.
It looks so nice.
But
I feel like somewhere in there it'll become vaguely disturbing.
Maybe. She does get mind zapped at one point, but a lot of it looks very jolly and green, and you got the little porg guys running around.
It's like Cubo and the Two Strings meets Ori and the Blind Forest. That's the vibe I got.
Sure, yeah.
My reviews of these trailers is literally just comparing it to other things I've seen before.
That's most criticism these days. So, you know, you're not alone on that. It just sort of made me a little bit upset that I'll never make anything that looks as cool as that. But hey.
Hey, your Sonic in Dreams was beautiful. Don't
you remember Sam with something?
Who could forget? Make him in Little Big Planet. So that's a action adventure game. Looks to have some Pikmin inspiration with the little furry guys. They carry stuff.
I so badly want a plushie of whatever creature that is. Just so badly. Want just a little plushie.
Honestly, same.
They are so cute.
They really are. I don't know if that's going to be a full price game, how long it's going to be, but definitely caught my eye. Really love the look of it. Kena, keep it in your head. Don't let yourself forget about it.
I'm vibing with it.
And yeah, Ember Lab. I don't know if that's their first game or not, but
they set it up as their first game because they said we have a background in animation. I was doing some research on the blog, and they were talking about making that Majora's Mask video and like doing some
Oh,
commercials.
wait, that's them?
Yeah,
shoot.
so
Yeah.
a few years ago, when everyone was asking for the Majora's Mask on the 3DS, before that actually happened, there was this like fan movie that came out basically
I've seen
showing
that video.
the Happy Mask salesman from that game. It was like I feel like it really got people's expectations up because like obviously
It's so disturbing.
the
Yeah, I've seen
3DS
that.
can't look anything like that, but yeah, it was a really cool video. And when I read the blog post, it's like, oh, these guys did that? I thought that was like a one-off
portfolio.
thing. I didn't know that. I hadn't even considered that as a possibility, but I'm really like, it may be their first game, but it looks really solid. Looks
They
fun.
already have merch. I'm on their website. Oh dang.
They know what they're doing.
They have so I'm guessing they're called ROTs, ROT. You can get a pin for $10, a figurine for $20, and a shirt for $25.
No stuffed animal yet, huh?
No plushies yet. When
Okay.
the plushies come,
That's disappointing.
Well, everyone has to buy that game, so there's enough demand.
mm-hmm.
All right, moving on. Corey, I feel like you may be, out of all of us, the one most interested in this Volcano High game.
I'm not gonna lie, I just kind of zoned out during that trailer.
Okay, great.
It did not seem interesting
No.
to me.
Where's Jess when you need her?
Yeah, Jess would be a better fit. It's about like, in a lot of games where there's like sad high schoolers that are feeling upset, but this time they're dinosaurs. It looks
And they all
all
have cool hair.
yeah, that's an important thing.
The only note I have about it is that it feels anime.
It feels animated. I don't know. I feel like back to the hair. I feel like it's a requirement of like high school fiction to have way better hair than people actually have in high school. Because real high
You're
schoolers have
right.
like disgusting hair, and it's like these kids don't know what a mirror is. They've never heard of one. But in a fiction, everyone looks fire.
Except that one day when everyone has their hair nice because it's picture day.
Yeah, when they got someone else to do it for them.
Yeah.
So it's a narrative adventure type game. We don't see any choices being made in the game. I think that's the main thing. They said on the blog, you're making choices, and the developer said that when you make the choice, you'll like feel it in the controller DualSense. I was like, I don't know what that means. Like when I hover over an option, is it just going to vibrate? And it's like, wow. I really feel the weight of that decision.
It's anime until dawn. That's what it is.
Okay.
The controller goes shaky shake, and you will remember this.
It seems pretty memorable. I don't know. I don't usually go for those types of games that
is
are
also
just
a
strictly decision based.
Console. It will be a console exclusive as well.
All right, locking those down. Sorry, Xbox.
People who own an Xbox won't care about that game. Let's be honest.
If it's on Game Pass, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I was delighted to see Lorne Lanning, creator of Oddworld, because he's just a great human being. And he's talking about his new Oddworld game, Oddworld Soulstorm. Now, I think both of you were confused and didn't realize this was a franchise.
No, I had no clue.
You would be correct.
Okay, so Oddworld is a series that goes back to the original PlayStation, and there are a number of games in it. I have all the games on Steam because they were on sale one time. I've never played them, but I will eventually. So the whole thing with Oddworld is that like kind of cute, ugly creatures, but it's satirical and it's dealing with some darker themes from real life. So that's why this trailer was sort of weirdly dark in a few places and ominous. There's this little guy Abe, and he was a slave of the evil corporation who ended up becoming some sort of messiah figure to all his fellow species. So the gameplay is you like try to save as many of them as you can, and then they get blown up, and it's like funny, but also you're like, oh, I feel bad for those little guys. It's my fault. And so what happened is they had the plan for a quintology, which is not I don't think that's a real word. At least I haven't seen it used very often, except in Oddworld. So they had like the original game on PS1, and then they made another one, like a direct sequel, but that technically wasn't part of it. And then they made the real second game, and then they made another game after that, which wasn't part of it. And then they just remade the first game, and now they just restarted the quintology. So this is like the real second game, I guess. This is what they wanted to do on the PS1.
I can vibe with that.
I don't know. There's a Ars Technica interview with Lauren Anning that's like 2.5 hours long, and it's just nice to hear that guy talk. Even if I've never played the games, he's just a nice presence. So I don't know if I'm actually going to have fun with it, but hey, it's doing something unique. It's a good thing to have in the world, I think. After that, horror with Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh, crap. Did that look fun?
Okay, tell me what you liked about that trailer, because I just talked about it.
Let me find the trailer. Yeah, so this is another, speaking of things we've forgotten, didn't know. I forgot that this game got shown last year at E3 by Bethesda, right?
Yeah.
And that's, yeah, because that's where we saw Akumi for the, like, pretty much the first time.
He's no longer working on the game.
Yeah, which kind of sucks. But this game looks so just stylized and incredibly, like, it seems like the combat like system is going to be the main focus, hopefully. Like, I don't know, I'm talking about my butt here right now. I don't know, the trailer looked really cool. I like that kind of the vibes game off was creepy and also like super action packed, and
yeah, there was more action
like,
than I was expecting, because your guy is like doing magic spells.
Yeah, and like you're fighting Slendermen and schoolgirls with no heads, and I don't know, I just thought it was really cool. It's different than what we saw last year at E3, but I'm still really excited for what this game could be.
It looks poppin'.
I don't know if it appeals to me, honestly. Maybe it's just because I'm not the biggest horror guy in the world, but like when the guy starts like doing magic spells, I'm like, oh, I didn't realize this was going to be in the game. It sort of undercuts some of the tension for me, but hey, maybe I'm alone. Corey, can you explain to me what Jett is?
No, I cannot. Absolutely not. I had no idea what was happening.
I didn't know what was like a cutscene and like what was part of the game. The art style looked nice, I'll say that.
You right.
Kyle, what do you have for notes on this game?
This was the one game I kind of glossed over, just because I have no idea what it was trying to show me. Like we said, with like what was a cutscene, what was gameplay. Haunted, as I read from the trailer, haunted by oblivion, propelled by dream. Just I don't know. I really don't know what this game was, and I'm not trying to knock it, but it's definitely just not something that's on my radar.
I think I need to see more of it that's not like super edited, because I don't think this was a great showing of it. I don't know.
Visually, it looks good. I don't know what was happening.
Yeah.
Does anyone know when the Astro Bot thing was? Because I skipped over that.
I don't remember the order of that is, but we can talk about it now.
We'll just slot it in now. Looks cute.
It does look cute.
I literally thought, I'm like, this just looks like they made a game like for the settings menu. Because like I thought this guy was just going to be like your assistant tool that helps you like navigate once you open the system. Like, here's Astro.
He sort of was on the PS4.
Yeah, so I just thought, and then like we're gonna make a game out of him, and it's gonna be a Mario Galaxy game, basically.
Yeah.
They already made 2 games out of him on the PS4.
Did they?
Yeah, they were both VR games.
And they were critically acclaimed VR games as well.
Really?
They were fun, honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, a platformer in VR is like not something you would immediately think of, but I don't have VR myself, but a lot of people seem to have really liked that last Astro Bot game, so I was happy to see him still doing stuff, even though he sort of outlived his own console. Do you guys think this will be VR?
It did not look like it, no.
I remember what I wrote down for my notes here. The one note I had, it was about a minute 15 into the trailer. There is a giant robot version of him, and that giant robot version of him looks like Towboy from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, and I could not get that image out of my head.
Fair enough. I mean, why not?
I know it's
I
a
guess.
very specific thing, but that's the thought that came
I don't know
into
what
my
you're
mind.
talking about, but sure. Yeah, I think this looked better than the Little Big Planet thing, if I'm being honest.
I agree with you.
I don't know what it was specifically. I can't point to one thing and say it did it better. But I don't know. Maybe if it is in VR and the Sackboy thing is not, then there's room for both of them, I think. Especially with one being multiplayer. So yeah, that looks very nice. Now back to game design by committee with Godfall. Corey, what is Godfall?
It looks like a hack and slash style beat 'em up with just a bunch of different weapons and stuff. I was kind of bored by it, honestly.
Yeah. Kyle, did this speak to you at all? Was anything grabbing you?
Nothing about the game itself grabbed me, but I will say it's a cool trailer because I really liked the music they were showing me. I was just more paying attention to that than I was paying attention to the actual game.
Do you think it fit with the game? Because it's...
No, honestly. Just because like this, like we said, it's a hack and slash type beat 'em up. Just with like, and as I watch the video now without sound, it looks like a whole lot of different things going on at once, none of which seem to mesh well together. But and remembering what the type of music was, I just don't think. I think there's just a lot going on in that game. None of that which appeals to me.
Yeah, it just seems to be borrowing a lot, like cribbing from Destiny and like God of War, just sort of
God of War.
chasing what's popular. I might be alone in that thought.
No,
You are not
that's a fair
alone in
assessment.
that.
That's a fair assessment.
Maybe people will get super into it. Again, not trying to yuck anyone's yums. Just doesn't appeal to us. Something that was a bit more unique was Solar Ash by the creators of Hyper Light Drifter.
I was all the way about that trailer. 100%.
Yeah, it's got a very appealing character design.
The art style is distinct and looks fantastic.
It sort of looks still like Hyper Light Drifter, but it's like, oh, it's 3D now. It's not pixel art.
I think this has a chance to be like what Ori and the Blind Forest was. This could be like that indie darling that just kind of blows everybody away. Like it looks really pretty. Like it's very a unique art style that just seems really fun to play.
Yeah, and it looks like it has like a story component as well. There's like the big monster saying, like, "Are you afraid? You should be." And it's like, whoa, that's like Batman stuff right now. Speaking to me.
I'm hoping, because they don't really show much of the game. Like they show a little bit, but not much of the game itself. It kind of looks like not your traditional, like, what I say, platformer, but something in the vein of like, oh, what game is that?
I'm assuming I just get like similar vibes as Hyper Light Drifter, which is like a beat 'em up like type thing. So I assume it's going to be similar to that, just in 3D.
I don't know why, but the tiny bit of gameplay they showed, all of her like speed and jumping and stuff, it sort of reminded me of all the mobility you get in like Hollow Knight.
Sure, yeah.
Oh,
I feel like a lot of
bug me that I
indie
can't
game
think of what I'm
developers like the same moves. They put the same moves in all their games. Hey, it's fun, so why complain?
Gravity Rush.
Oh yeah,
Gravity Rush is the game I'm thinking of. That's what it kind of gives me a vibe of. Hope I could just be overthinking it. It could be totally different, but I'm wondering if that's where they're going with it.
Maybe.
I can vibe with that.
Gravity Rush is definitely a cult favorite.
Very underrated game.
Yeah. So maybe someone carry on that spirit. That'd be cool. Speaking of underrated, guys, Hitman 3. It's coming. Get excited, please. These games are the best.
It just means more crazy antics for the YouTubers that I watch.
But you could be experiencing those antics for yourself. And
I haven't played any of the other ones.
Okay, Corey, they go on sale all the time.
They do.
It's ridiculous. You can pay
They really do.
like $12 and get Hitman 2 and then like $5 for Hitman 1. And it's all in one package. You have like unlimited amount of
They were still making DLC for that game up until like earlier this year too.
Yeah, I mean it's a live game, so they're always having events and adding new contracts and stuff. And with 3, they said, like, yes, you're going to be able to play all the stuff from 1 and 2 and 3 all in one package. So it's just, I'm so happy because for a while there, it looked like that studio was going to get out of business, but they came back really.
What's the studio that makes that?
That's IO Interactive.
Okay.
They've made a few other things, but they're primarily known for Hitman.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so much fun, like mastering each level and like, okay, I know exactly how this guy is going to move if I do X, Y, and Z. And then that will let me do this and like strangle him with piano wire or shove him off the balcony or like drop an anvil on his head, like whatever. It's
because you can play it like that serious, like everything has to be done in the right order to make sure you do it successfully. Or if you wanted to, you could just go in and throw a pencil at somebody and just kind of run around and hope you survive.
Absolutely. So like I played that way for a long time, and then it's like I just like knew the game so well that it's like, oh, that's not really challenging to me anymore. So then I like shifted over to like doing the perfect run and like getting in and out unseen, and it's like almost more fun for me. But it's also super fun to just throw a coconut at someone and then like disguise yourself as someone else and just be like, wow, did you see that guy threw the coconut? That was whack.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't expecting to see this game at all, but I just love 1 and 2 so much. So I mean, you got to give this game a chance. I even think the first level is free or something of Hitman 1. So there's no excuse not to try it. And then another cool looking game. It's called Little Devil Inside. Some sort of RPG monster hunting thingy. Corey, did this speak to you at all? The game with the old man?
It looked interesting. It looks interesting.
Interesting, huh?
It looked interesting.
How did it look interesting?
I don't know. Honestly, that's all the notes I have on it.
Okay. Well, you can't win them all. Kyle, what did you think of the juxtaposition between the old man and the young man?
So I think I missed like the first chunk of this trailer. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was very well executed in the trailer. Like I thought it was funny. The certain like little little notes they made with the juxtaposition, like you said. I don't. And when I first watched it, I thought, because that back and forth between being the old man and being the young man, I thought it was a type of game where like you start off as him, and then you go to the old man, and then you start, and like you're jumping back and forth until they finally meet, type of thing. I really have no idea what this game. I mean, it looks like.
So yeah, from the setup of the trailer, it looks like the old man has hired the young guy to like hunt monsters for him. He seems to be like an old adventurer. And he's just like, I don't know, maybe trying to relive his glory days or something. But
yeah, man.
So the old man is living this very boring life while the little young guy is like trying to kill the goblins or whatever. That's just a fun juxtaposition.
Based on the title, though, the younger guy could just be like in his psyche.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Did you just spoil it for me? How dare you?
That's the little devil inside your head, man.
Wow.
Ooh, it's got deep.
It really did. Yeah, that game's apparently been around for a while. This is the first I've seen it, but
has it really?
Apparently it was kickstarted. I just learned this today, like years ago. But I'll keep my eye on it from now on.
Yeah, it was a Kickstarter campaign. Last updated yesterday. Okay, so that's not gonna help me. Oh, it started back in 2015. Was the Kickstarter?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's like the golden age of Kickstarter, where you could just do anything. But
it grossed over $300,000. That's Australian dollars.
Okay.
And has over 5,000 backers. So yeah.
Wow. I'm sure Sony gave them a good chunk of change too.
I mean, probably.
Or maybe the other way around. I'm not sure how it works, but it is nice to see these like console manufacturers like taking interest of these weird games, like Bugsnax.
This game terrified me.
Yeah.
This game terrified me.
It was weird.
We'll get to it later. This was the scariest vibe I got from any of the games. I'm so creeped out by what this game is gonna be,
because it's like three things going on at once. Because like the first layer is like you have an island of animal people. A second layer is that there are a bunch
and they're not cute animal people.
Yeah, they're like, weird. There are a bunch of bugs running around that are half food. Like you have a burger bug or like a bug that's
strawberry insect. Yeah.
And then the third layer is when you eat the bugs, parts of your body turn into that food. So
and
a lot.
At the end, you see that the bugs themselves can form their own sentience without the animals, and it's just what the heck is going on here?
Who is hunting who? Is it what I want to know? Yeah. So that was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how to. I think if you're into that, you're into that. The Octodad fans will probably like it. I hope.
Is that the same studio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that was gross to me, but was it as gross as the NBA video?
No.
You mean Sweat the Game?
Sweat the Game. Yeah, so they introduced this as like, hey, this is what NBA 2K looks like on this next generation of hardware. Oh, we put it all in Sweat. We put all our skill tree points into Sweat detail.
That trailer had more puddles than the Spider-Man trailer.
For real. And what I was thinking is like, in those games, the camera is never that close. You're never going to see all that sweat. You're always seeing like wide shots of your players, you know? Unless they have like photo mode where you like extreme zoom.
In 2K21, you actually don't play as a basketball player. You play as a photojournalist who's taking pictures on the side, and your goal is to capture as much sweat per picture.
Hey, that'd at least be something new. They're like annual franchises. They gotta shake it up somehow.
They're trying to stop a drought.
It's NBA Snap. That's what it is. Actually, wait a minute. I play that game.
Yeah, like a Sports Illustrated game. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Pokemon Snap, but with sweaty 7-foot tall men.
For real. Is that a Pokemon? Is there like a 7-foot tall man Pokemon?
More than likely, yes.
He's in the new DLC. But these games are just sort of like, we got a good video out of it once, but they're just sort of, they're basketball. They're kind of predatory with the microtransaction stuff. But people keep buying them, so it makes sense that they'd show up. The only sports game that showed up, it's weird. I was expecting Madden or something.
Yeah, Madden, I think, is going to have their own event coming here soon.
Oh,
and Madden's EA, so we have that next week.
Right. I forgot that EA is still doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I still saw they're making a new Star Wars game, but yeah, we're getting off topic. Meanwhile, a hot remaster / remake / reimagining. This has been rumored for a while, but it's here. Demon's Souls.
Yes.
Corey, when did you first realize it was Demon's Souls in the trailer?
Do you remember the part like 4 segments in when you just see that guy hanging upside down from the claw?
Yeah, what is that in the game?
That is some guy being carried by a eldritch abomination.
Is that a player or is that just a corpse?
That's just a corpse.
Okay. Is he like the secret brain of the monster and it's a trick?
No.
Oh.
No. Just a dead guy.
Okay. So
I'm not gonna lie, for like the first 5 seconds of it, I was expecting it to be Elder Scrolls 6 because it reminded me of that one teaser trailer. But then I was wrong.
Oh, I'm sure all the assets for that teaser trailer are in the garbage now. Like, that was totally made up just to get stock points.
We're just getting Skyrim again.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the game looks really nice. Blue Point is the company you go to for all these super nice remakes. Corey, since you have played
so good.
Yeah, how much
it looks so good.
Like, this is like an early PS3 game originally, right?
Yeah, 2009.
Wow. Yeah, so we've come a long way since then.
Oh yeah, they've torn up every tile on the floor and laid down new linoleum.
They leveled the house.
Oh yeah.
Do you think the changes will extend to gameplay as well? Because sometimes they do sort of tweak things, but they don't usually...
100%. The original was a clunky mess.
Oh, okay. So it'd be a missed opportunity to not, is what you're saying.
I mean, people would appreciate it if it was the same, but at the same time, we would appreciate it if it was improved.
Okay. Kyle, what game would you have Blue Point work their magic on? And don't say WWE car battle.
Damn, okay, so go to the second most important game to me. I honestly, yeah. What other things have they done?
So they
Like
did
Blue Point
the
said-
Uncharted remasters for PS4, and then they remade Shadow of the Colossus.
Ooh.
And maybe some other stuff, but I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, I don't play a lot of those grandiose style games, man. I don't know what Uncharted is fun. I didn't know they made the remasters, but I don't know if it's coming to my head.
They also did Gravity Rush Remastered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Didn't know they got a remastered.
That's just putting it on the PS4 from the Vita.
Yeah.
There's probably a Vita game that. Who am I kidding? No one played
No,
Vita.
well, Persona 4 is the last one, and that's getting a PC release.
Mm-hmm.
All the other ones are saved from Vita Purgatory.
Thank goodness.
And then, after Demon's Souls, another game that showed really well, I think, is Deathloop from Arcane. Kyle, what did you think of this trailer presentation?
It's the year of the Deathloop
Yeah,
games.
certainly.
I thought it was really well done. So it's a lot of the characterization between who you're playing as, who you're playing against type of thing. has that Bethesda feel with like the kind of somewhat, I don't want to say cartoony, but some of the more like ridiculous like elements of like the story itself, like just the scenario you're in and what's happening. Hopefully there's better gunplay than you have in a normal Bethesda like a Fallout. But
Yeah. I think for this, we want to look for like Dishonored and Prey, because that's the studio.
Yeah, that's more their wheelhouse. But I think it looks really fun.
Yeah, Corey, what do you think about this protagonist? Because a lot of their other games, they sort of have like blank slate. But this guy has an attitude.
That video and that character had like every trope in the book of a mediocre action movie, and I was living for it, honestly.
Yeah, I thought his like the voice actor did a great job, I think. Because like that,
I am emotionally prepared for this game.
Yeah, definitely. I want to try Dishonored as well, because it's a lot like Hitman, where you just you find your own way to kill someone or just make them ashamed of themselves. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it had a better showing than last year for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
And with the moment they had at the end with like who he's facing off of, I kind of think, and this could be my conspiracy theory brain, and they may have said it in the trailer and I just missed it. Are they related in any form? Because
not that we're aware of.
Yeah,
it's playing with time in a way that I think that is some form of his daughter or something like that. That's my conspiracy theory with that game.
I mean, I have no evidence against it. That's just not the vibe I get.
I could just be reading too much into it, which apparently I do a lot of, because it's like the 6th time I've said that.
Hey, it's never a bad thing to look deeply.
No. And
then we're going back to horror. There's like this presentation jumped all over the place, but there was a lot of horror. So horror's seeing a resurgence, and it's the 8th Resident Evil game called Village. Corey, are you a Resident Evil person?
The only ones I've played are the first one and 7.
Okay, so this is a direct sequel to 7 with the same like white toast piece of character. But it's in a totally different setting. Did this appeal to you?
It kind of feels like, 1 was in the mansion and then it went to 2 in the city. It sort of feels like the new version of that, because 7 was in a mansion and now they're in a village.
Yeah.
But it still looks really good.
For sure. I like how they were showing some of the camera shots in the trailer where it was like, oh yeah, this is where you put in all the puzzle pieces to open the door. I was like, yeah, this is a Resident Evil game, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, graphically, Kyle, were you impressed by the graphics? I think it looked really nice.
Oh, it looked awesome. And I watched the whole video they made separately, like showing off, like, here's some of like the art, not inspiration, but some of like their early processes, and here's where we moved, and here's the final product. And watching them go through that process made you appreciate like how in depth and how pretty that game is for something as dark and gritty as a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, that engine can do amazing work.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys looking forward to the new enemy types in this game? Because we have like werewolves and witches. It's sort of a different vibe for the series.
I think so. 7, mostly it's been like zombie type things, but then 7 had, I think they were called molded, which were these funky little like slimy boys, I think. They kind of reminded me of slime, just in appearance.
The Nickelodeon enemy?
No, like not like they were slimes, but like they were just creatures made of like a goop or something formed into a person shape.
That's freaky.
Which would explain the name, but well, the whole game was freaky.
Do you guys think Wesker's going to be in this game? There was the one shot of the guy taking off his sunglasses, and that just gave me vibes. It's like, is that Wesker's cousin or what? What's going on?
Did Wesker die at some point? I don't remember.
I don't know anything about the Resident Evil.
He died like 3 times.
Story,
yeah.
so
the most recent time he died, he was shot with twin rocket launchers in a volcano. But he's Wesker, so he might be back. You never know.
You're right.
But yeah, I really enjoyed 1 and 2 for what I played. I'm about to start 3 pretty soon here, and then maybe 7 and 8. Who knows?
As the wimp that I am, I've only seen 10 minutes. Not even, probably longer than that. 10 minutes to probably like a half an hour's worth of Resident Evil 7. It terrified me, and I won't play them.
I don't know how different it's going to be in first person compared to like seeing your character. Yeah, but go on.
I probably won't play it, but I will watch somebody play it from like 20 feet away.
I will appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm too much of a coward to play those games.
The trick is just to get in the designer's head and just be like, okay, there's going to be a bad guy. There's going to be a bad guy. There's going to be... Oh!
Just remember, the last one was in VR. Imagine that.
Yeah, Corey, do you think this one's going to be in VR as well?
It does not appear so. They haven't... As far as I know, there's no VR for PS5 yet.
Well, maybe eventually.
Astro Bot was relegated to VR stuff, and it seems like they've moved him away from that too, so...
There's always a chance they could do like an optional mode for it, though.
Later on when they have it.
Yeah. Then this other weird game, there's like a spaceman walking through a city, but there's like a robot lady and a robot cat, and then they go...
Oh, Pragmata? Is this what it is?
Pragmata?
Whatever
it's called.
Isn't it Kojima?
They didn't label it as Kojima. Look, if there's one thing about Kojima is that he loves to put his own name on things. Usually multiple times within 20 seconds. So that would be uncharacteristic restraint if he didn't put his name on this trailer. But it seems to be someone who was very heavily inspired by Kojima at the very least.
It's Capcom at least.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes a little more sense for it to follow up Resident Evil. But Kyle, as a film creator, do you think the weird imagery in this trailer, did it get you interested?
It not really, because from what I like these games are always cool to look at, yeah, but I'm more interested in some of the gameplay sides of games like these, and I don't think we saw any gameplay, if memory serves me correctly.
I think you're right.
Not that I know of.
I mean, it seems cool, just to look at, but similar to what Death Stranding was, I have no real desire to play it until I can really see what it's going to be.
The girl's face was unsettling.
Yes, I will say that.
Yeah. I think
cat
they were
was cute.
Intending to go for unsettling, but yeah.
The girl's face was unsettling, just like Returnal.
Yeah.
The Returnal,
but for much different reasons.
Returnal, I think, was a budgetary issue, but yeah. I don't know what this game is. It's probably going to be very high concept. Probably alienate a lot of people. But hey, maybe it'll be good. You know, you always got to go into these things with optimism, right?
Jeremy,
I guess.
As we get towards the end, I think we'd be remiss to not talk about what is going to be the game of the year coming up. I think it's next year. I think we'd be remiss to not talk about Stray.
Did we skip Stray?
You did skip Stray.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. That was one of the...
It's the most important game on this list, Jeremy Farman.
I was thinking when I was talking about the robot cat, I was like, oh yeah, another cat. But like, I completely missed Stray. I'm sorry, guys.
Dude, game of the year 2021.
Now this seems like pandering to me. This seems like a big pander to cat people. Maybe it should be. It's just because great. I'm outside this ecosystem, but I don't know. One thing I did notice that's going to stay around in the future of gaming is vague phrases spray painted onto game environment walls. It was just one I was like, there's no hope. It's like, people don't spray paint that, but okay. So yeah, you're a cat in this game, and that all the humans are gone, assumably. There's just a bunch of like job simulator looking robots, doing their thing.
It looks like this cat is the only organic thing left in the world.
Really? Because there's probably some bacteria.
You know what, Jeremy? You're probably right. But it's the most important living thing left.
I guess.
So, according to a post by the developer, it looks like it's the only organic creature in a city full of robots.
So what does it eat?
Don't know. That's what someone makes a joke. What's on its back? Is it like a jetpack, or is it just the feline's like food source, like catnip?
Maybe there's like robotic nutrient paste. That's the only thing I can think of. Because if there's like no organic anything, like all the plants are fake, or
I don't know. But it also says it is going to be a puzzle solver with some action set pieces and moments.
Okay.
You'll
I can
love
get down
to
for
see
that.
it.
I can get down with that.
Yeah, so it's I'm excited about that.
I am about this game.
I honestly, I have no clue. And I really honestly, the more I look at it, can't tell if I like or hate the logo.
It's a bit much.
It seems very cliche, we're trying to be stylized, and it's hard to read.
I think
you don't need to be stylized. You have a cat.
People are just gonna call it the cat game. Yeah. They should have called it Untitled Cat Game.
Ooh, I would play the heck out of that.
You're already gonna play the heck out of it.
That's fair. Well, if I get a PS5.
Okay, and then the last game they showed before we can wrap up is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Did either of you guys play that?
I've been told to. I have not played it myself.
Corey,
I have not.
Okay, I have.
Is it good?
It's not my thing. It's certainly a gorgeous looking game, and I thought parts of the story were really interesting. It's sort of unraveling the mystery of what that is. But for whatever reason, I didn't find the combat that fun. Maybe this was a me problem. I just wasn't getting the most out of it. I feel like you could say that. But I don't know. I also wasn't over the moon with Aloy as the main character, just because of the way it's set up. She there's a lot of opportunity where she's looking down on everyone and is the savior of mankind, and they're too stupid to realize. But again, that might just be my own interpretation. I don't know. It depends how much they change this new game, because if they revamp all the combat stuff and just make a bunch of other changes, I would definitely be interested to try it. But if it's the same game again, only in a different setting, probably not for me.
If it's a sequel, I feel like they're not changing that much.
Yeah, especially because so many people loved it. They probably are going to stick pretty close to it. Kyle, what is stopping you from trying this game?
Well, first, owning a PS4.
Hey, it's coming to PC.
Yeah, no, but I'm not. Look up. I don't know. It just never really. It kind of slipped by my mind as it came out. I'm like, oh yeah, that's out, and then it kept sticking in the consciousness of the people I was who play games around me. Oh, dude, this game's so good. This game's so good. But by the time I was hey, what's this game about? It either I was either talking to a diehard who was way too into it that kind of pushed me off, or somebody who just never really got around to it or stuck with it as long as some other people did. But it's got a really cool like vibe to it. And the characterization looks cool. They seem to have like a good narrative going. And who doesn't want to shoot robot dinosaurs, man?
I got a little tired of it, but yeah, I see what you mean. There's like a big turtle guy now. He looks cool.
You're right.
It was Robot Torterra.
Yeah, I had that thought.
Yeah.
I wonder when that's going to come out, because they didn't give a date on that, I don't think. A lot of people were expecting it to be launched. Any predictions on when it'll come out? Maybe next year?
Hopefully. They showed off a lot of games, man. I don't remember half of when they said what's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on that topic, is there any one game that really is you're gonna champion it? It's your favorite that they showed? Kyle, how about
What, like which one they should like focus on first?
or which one did you leave feeling the most excited about?
Your favorite.
Man, I'm trying to. I'd say probably Kina, just because I like. Ori and the Blind Forest is slowly becoming, the more I play it, it's slowly becoming like one of my favorite games ever. And if it gives like it's giving me like that kind of vibe where it's like a very beautiful game with some cool ideas, and yeah, I think Kina will be a surprise to a lot of people.
Yeah, I totally agree. Corey, what was your highlight of this presentation?
Spider-Man and Demon Souls were both big for me because Spider-Man's great and I've played Demon Souls and I'm excited to see it, like remastered. But I think the one that like stuck out most to me was Solar Ash.
Yeah. Like they just had a lot of really distinct art styles in this presentation. Even if like a lot of games sort of use the bright aesthetic, there's still like there's different enough styling within that. That game looks super cool. Myself, I gotta say Resident Evil looked really well. Hitman 3, obviously I'm going to be hyped about that, but I gotta stick on brand. I gotta go with Miles. You love that New York City, love Spider-Man in the snow. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. No matter what kind of game it is, it's gonna be good. So yeah, I guess the last question I have to ask all you guys is, are you considering buying a PS5 and when?
Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Absolutely, yes. And I honestly might even go for launch. Wow. I might. It is looking really good.
Yeah, especially since a lot of this stuff is exclusive. Not everything, but like a lot of the first party stuff they showed, and even some of the like indie games they got are exclusive. So it's there's enough of a reason, I think. Kyle, what about you?
So as I was watching like other like reviewers and people I trust with their opinions, I was come out on the cross of the two reasons people buy games are what games it has and what your friends have. So I don't know if I definitely will be buying at launch, because I think buying at launch is kind of a bad idea just because of pricing. It all depends on what's going on with the rest of the games, because I know like I am a diehard Halo fan. So if Halo is the big thing that Xbox keeps harping on, I'm probably gonna go there before I go a PS5. And it also depends. Hey, if everybody's getting a PS5 and everybody's talking about the games they're playing, I might be swayed to go that way. But I think just with there are, like I said, there's some concerning things. They haven't shown the price yet. There are rumors that like Xbox is just gonna downplay, like if PlayStation goes $500, Xbox is gonna be $400 or $450. And it sounds cheap, but those are the things that people like who don't have really the money to spend on consoles right now that's a big selling point. So I don't know
Absolutely.
if I'll buy one at launch.
Yeah, I gotta say, like
those are some concerns, man.
I probably won't be buying one at launch just because like I have no income, and I got to be careful with how I spend my money. Even if a lot of this stuff looks super exciting, I got to learn to be more cautious with how I spend stuff. But if you have the money, I think it's not a bad argument they made. And I think it's a lot more convincing than the stuff we've seen from Microsoft so far. But what do you guys think Microsoft has to do to get back, stay in the running?
I think, I mean, they showed PlayStation did show off a lot of exclusives, but I think Xbox really just show, hey, we have those games too. And we have our, like, what exclusives they have. You got to show all those off because Microsoft, what is it, 2 years ago or last year, they showed off this laundry list of studios they had purchased and the games they were, like, gonna try to make.
Yeah.
You got to start showing. You got to start showing.
Feels like they were putting stuff in the chamber for this moment, right?
You got to start doing it because this is the big moment. You lost this last generation, and I don't know if. I mean, granted, this Nintendo's playing its own game. Nintendo's selling out like hotcakes. You are third right now in what's selling for consoles, and you already have negative viewpoints just because of the way like fans are set. You have to start off strong. You have to go with exclusives. You have to do a ton of things, and even if you do, that's not a guarantee you're still gonna succeed, which sucks.
Yeah, a lot of it is just public perception.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys have any final thoughts on the PlayStation 5, the lineup, the console itself? We didn't really talk about. But if
it looks stupid.
If you have anything else you want to say,
that's my thought.
I don't really have an opinion about it. It's fine. It's a box. Corey,
if it plays the game, it plays the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It looks like poggers.
So without any other final thoughts, thank you for listening to All Systems Go Home. Let us know what you thought about this presentation, about any of the games we talked about. If you really love the sweat on the guy and you want to let us know, I encourage it. So until next time, we'll see you. And this was I've lost a lot of steam there, but goodbye, everyone.
See ya.
Bye-bye.